Mayday, mayday, mayday. Mayday, mayday, mayday. All free citizens. Mayday, mayday, mayday. All that can hear. America has been overthrown. Repeat, America has been overthrown. Communist occupation. Repeat, heavy communist occupation. Location 15 degrees, 2415 north, 30 degrees east, 103. Repeat, 15 degrees, 2415 north, 30 degrees east, 10, 3. They were surrounded. We're surrounded. All comms are unsecure. Repeat, all comms are unsecure. The media has been taken over. Repeat, emergency. Mayday, mayday. All media has been taken over. Request information. Repeat, request information. Find Covert Radio. Repeat, Charlie, Oscar, Victor, Echo, Romeo, Tango. Repeat, Covert Radio. Mayday, mayday, mayday.
How you guys doing? This is Covert Radio. And this is brutally honest, fearlessly unapologetic talk radio. And oh, we got a great show for you here. Yeah, we do have a great show for you guys here. I do want to get a few things out of the way first. Number one, I want to ask if you guys want to get your pen and pencils out or maybe take some mental notes, because we're going to go over a lot of useful information. And for those of you who may want to cut this up into more bite-size portions, please go ahead and do that. I have staggering numbers, guys. That's just mind-blowing about what's going on in the Ozarks. Speaking of the Ozarks, I do want to give a shout-out to, number one, all of the Covert Radio Tribunal members, the Patreon members. I also want to, like I said, give a shout-out to all of the Ozark Bears who have confided in Covert Radio, who has trusted me with just the myriad of information. It's unbelievable what's happening. It really is. I also want to give a shout out to Liz Antoinette, because I feel like I don't do that enough. I do use a lot of her clips. I use a lot of her clips. So I'm going to link her channel in the description. There's also another video I'm going to be using in this, if I get to it, that I only found through her, but I actually went to his, this guy's channel, because it's not as choppy, but that's not her fault. I mean, she's in Australia, so I mean, it's no fault of hers. But the other thing is, the LLC show, guys. I know, you keep saying, I got a couple emails from Covert Radio listeners that are like, what about, the LLC show? It's listen, the amount of information I've added to it is staggering. And you guys are not going to believe the numbers involved here at this point. It's unbelievable. It really, really is. What's also unbelievable is the amount of people that are, the chaos really that's happening in the Ozarks. The amount of people that are moving in, the amount of people that are falling apart, the businesses that are falling apart. the distancing from Owen Benjamin, the distancing from Beartaria. They are all figuring it out. They're all figuring it out. And all it takes is a catalyst. Covert Radio could be that catalyst, made by Jim Bob. There's so many others. There's a lot of you guys out there that are making clips and trying to warn people. You know, this actually does go down to cognitive abilities. And if you want to go deeper, this actually goes down to the way we're wired. For many years on Covert Radio, a lot of my content is very heavy in psychology. It's very heavy in scientific, neuroscience and experiments and things like that, dealing with psychology and media and rhetoric. And, that's why I really feel qualified to do what I'm doing concerning Owen Benjamin. I'm going to show you a bunch of things. Maybe some of it you've seen, maybe some of it you haven't. But I remember I covered a paper, I think it was, a neuroscience paper. It was a university study that was done, it was at least 10 years ago. And it was their research, I believe, I can't really remember. It might have been the University of South Carolina, I think it was. But they did research that basically proved that a Democrat and a Republican conservative, or we could just say Democrat and Republican, our brains are physically wired differently. There's evidence for that. Excuse me. Coffee. There's evidence for that. It's actually, it's based on how, it's not environment, it's not political ad campaigns, it's not rhetoric, it's not character assassination. It's not the Tavistock Institute or some, billion-dollar think tank somewhere. It is literally how people are hardwired. And there's no better proof of that than how much media has changed over the last 10 years and how open anymore everybody is with showcasing their own life. TikTok and YouTube and, Instagram and all these social media sites, Facebook, who just give people the ability to just hit play, record, or, go live and just show their psychosis. And you might, over the years, have seen some of this stuff and be like, what the are these people thinking? You literally can't relate to it. You're like, what do they think? Oh, it must be getting old. It's the younger generation. No. Because there really is evidence now showing that our own biological makeup, we're already predisposed to self-identify as either a Democrat or a Republican. We're hardwired differently. And and the reason I'm even bringing this up is because at this point, somebody like Covert Radio, a lot of people in the Covert Radio tribunal and the people that are now falling out of the cult, the Beartaria cult, they are like, what happened? Like, what, those people are like, but I've never been fooled from the beginning. And there's a lot of people that have never been fooled. But there is a lot of people that are very, very fooled. And it really does break down to our own makeup, our own wiring. There's no real educate. I mean, I guess education can play into that. And that's another role I'm playing in this. Every one of these, I try to educate you guys with new material, something you may have never heard before. And I can see where a lot of my vernacular has been picked up and used in other people's shows. And thank God, you know what I mean? Because I don't have any, I don't have any other motives here other than getting the truth out, getting to the bottom line and bringing this demonic Luciferian, LARPing, just malignant narcissist named Owen Benjamin, bringing him to justice, and whatever that may be. Because full disclosure concerning the Ozarks, you know, there are some people that I'm in contact with that are very, how could I say this? You know, I'm not saying, I never said what's happening is illegal. I never said that. I never made those claims. I never said what's happening is illegal. I have said it's immoral, it's unethical, it's a shame, it is predatory. These are all things, yes, I have said. But I've never really made the statement that it is illegal. That is what I'm really looking into. How, you know, but I, you know, again, now we're getting into a gray area of racketeering. We're getting into an area of money laundering. In the last video for Covert Radio, Owen Benjamin is so happy, you know, like I said, and I said, whoever said that, Sam wrote it, somebody wrote it, because word on the cow patty is that happens quite often. A lot of the letters are pre-written. A lot of the donations are, you know, it's like priming a pump. You got to get water in the pump before. And, you know, that really works during live streams too. But, you know, a lot of it's internal. And, you know, here's a guy supposedly LARPing that he's a homesteader, LARPing he's a Christian, LARPing that he's a family man. I have 4 children, a beautiful wife, and a abundant garden of tomato and life-sustaining sustenance from the ground of God's creation. Meanwhile, it's all an act. It's all fake. These are children, animals, farm, land, wife, house, health. He has all these things, but he says that he is thankful that he can put money into a washer, it go through the cycle, and then he can pull it back out of the dryer. That is what he said he is thankful for. Never mentioning his children, never mentioning his life, his wife, his fortune, nothing. Never mentioned any of that. He mentioned he's happy he can wash money and pull it back out. So again, make up your own mind. You know what I mean? I'm going to tell you what I see, and I'm never going to stop. Speaking of that, you know, prior to the LLC show, also word on the street is there possibly may be some preparations being made for, I don't want to say too much, but listen to me. Stop what you're doing right now. I know this is talk radio format. And again, if you're a new listener, Covert Radio is talk radio format. You do not have to stare at this screen. I will prompt you, say, guys, if you want to take a look at your screen. And this show here is going to be more of that than average because we do have a lot of media to go over. But this is talk radio format. You put Covert Radio on, turn it up, go do what you are doing. You could be out in the garden working. You could be out doing whatever. You could be on a roof. You could be in the kitchen. Okay? Just turn it on. And, you know, it is pretty much family safe. Pretty much. Put it this way. If your family listens to Owen Benjamin, you can definitely have your family listen to Covert Radio. So it is radio format. But with that being said, I highly suggest you stop what you're doing right now. Go into the description and find the link for Rumble. Covert Radio on Rumble. It'll be linked right in the description. And the reason for that is because I have some intel that there could be a coordinated strike getting ready to happen as soon as the LLC show drops on YouTube. So what I may end up and do is only do about 2 to 5 minutes on YouTube and black screen. Go to Rumble if you want to watch that, because you can see when Owen covered my email that I sent to Duncan, he still crossed out information he doesn't want anybody to know. And the amount of information I'm going to disclose is going to cause a problem, potentially. Not legally. I'm well within my legal right, and I welcome the opportunity to sue any one of them for impeding an investigation and hindering my progression in this. Go ahead and try to stop what's happening, and you'll see how quickly I tie you up with a lawsuit. So have at it. But I do have inside intel that is in the works. So subscribe to Rumble, Covert Radio on Rumble, so that I may exclusively have the LLC show on Rumble. And then I also considered doing that live. We'll figure it out. So that's that. But I do want to jump right into this. I don't even know where to start. I have so much stuff for you guys. I've gotten a lot of information from the Bears and the Ozarks, and, I can tell you this, and you're going to see this in a lot of the information we go over. The reality of the weak-minded individuals is one thing. The manipulation and mental conditioning is another thing. And wicked predators like Owen Benjamin, he abuses those avenues. He is, it's like a wolf smelling the blood of a wounded animal. He can smell the blood. And when he does, he abuses them, he takes advantage of them, and he squeezes them relentlessly for all that he can get out of them. And, there's a myriad of reasons why he does this and why he feels that he has the right to do it. But still to this day, and I don't, maybe you can answer Covert Radio and maybe you can answer me right now in the comments section, okay? Because nobody can answer this question for me. None of the Ozark Bears, none of the higher brass that I've spoken to, none of them can answer a very simple question. Why are strangers buying a millionaire grifter hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of real estate? Let me say that again. Why are strangers buying Owen Benjamin land? Why are complete strangers buying Owen Benjamin land that he then in turn charges those same people to have access to it? Nobody can answer this question. I've gotten a lot of alternative, opinions about that. One being that this isn't going to last at all. And really, this past cult festival may be the last one. There may be one more. But other than that, it'll just eventually go away, and Owen Benjamin will wind up with hundreds of thousands of dollars of land that strangers have purchased for him. The overall vibe is that it's all over. It's all crashing. The wheels are falling off. A lot of the Ozark Bears I spoke with, most, this is not what they signed up for. The illusion is over. The illusion is over, Owen. And I promise you something, sir. I promise you. When there is an investigation, they will buckle. They will buckle. You've involved too many good-hearted people. And they did not sign up for this. And they will turn on you. They will turn on Adam. They will turn on Sam. And I could name 5 other people right now that they're going to turn on. The illusion is over. This is not what they signed up for. And for any new people listening to me who may wonder, well, what are you talking about, Covert Radio? What are you talking about? Listen, please let me warn you, okay? All of this calculated razzle-dazzle, all of the manipulation, I'm warning you that you are being targeted. You're a target. You're being targeted. And I'm here to warn you. And I'm also going to show you that there is a very high level of manipulation at play here. I'm going to show you. I'm even going to use Owen's own words. But we're going to start off with something like this. You know, I've talked before about, oh, the Beartarians, they're low IQ. Okay. I've talked about the susceptibility of certain people to a cult mentality. Okay. I've been told countless times by good people, Covert Radio, a lot of these people, they're very nice people, they're very good people, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And I understand that. I've talked to a bunch of them. I've confided in a bunch of them. They've confided in me. And I know that. They are nice people. They are good. Again, though, there's only 2 types of people that fall for this. Okay? It does not excuse the reality of the 2 options that they've succumbed to. This is one of them. And it just so happens that this one here is very prevalent in the upper brass. This is very, very, very prevalent. I want you guys to take a look at your screen here. We're going to go over an article just quickly. This is from a few years ago. This is The Independent. Let me see here. Where's my screen? Can you guys see that? Let's see here. Yeah, okay. So the article is from The Independent. It says, people who are obsessed with celebrities may be less intelligent, a study suggests. And again, I've gone over this multiple times on Covert Radio. And I know it's not all low IQ. I know it's not all people looking for answers. It's a combination of everything. And it's also a combination of high-level manipulation. Okay? We're going to cover all the gamuts here. But people who are obsessed with celebrities may be less intelligent. Even though they may be a banker or they may be no, we're not going to get into it. We'll just say maybe they'll be a banker, ex-banker. You know what I mean? So let's see here. Let's take a look. There is a direct association between celebrity worship and poorer performance on cognitive tests, researchers say. People who are obsessed with Hollywood gossip and celebrity culture may be less intelligent, new research suggests. A Hungarian study published in BMC Psychology found a direct association between celebrity worship and poorer performance on cognitive tests. The research was conducted using a survey of 1,763 adults who completed a series of tasks, including a 30-word vocabulary test and a digit symbol substitution test. They also completed a celebrity attitude scale questionnaire created in order to establish how interested they were in famous people. The questionnaire required people to simply answer yes or no to a series of statements. No, I'm not going to, well, it's almost over. These included, I often feel compelled to learn the personal habits of my favorite celebrity. I am obsessed by details of my favorite celebrity's life. And if I were lucky enough to meet Big Pear, if I was lucky to meet my celebrity crush, oh, Jesus, oh, I'm gender fluid. Hello, guys. Yes. I'm knocking things over. If I was so lucky to meet my favorite celebrity, and he or she asked me to do something illegal, as a favor, I would probably do it. Let me read that again. If I were lucky enough to meet my favorite celebrity and he asked me to do something illegal, I would probably do it. Let me reiterate something. Big Pear. They will absolutely jump off the ship when it's time. They can deflect. They can say, oh, shucks me. What? Oh, they can cross the T's and dot the I's and make sure every paper's filed. And they can do all kinds of things. But when it's time, we're going to see who is a beartard then. Jesus, I keep knocking things over. I'm so sorry. This is how deep this mentality goes, okay? We're not going to read the rest of that. I can link that in the description if you guys want to read it. People who are obsessed with celebrities may be less intelligent. I want to show you guys this, okay? And this here is no secret. This is how deep it goes. This is how deep the celebrity crush, the power Owen Benjamin wields. And he knows it. Believe me, he knows it. And this is part of rhetoric too, which we're going to go over here in a moment. What we're looking at is owned by the Ozark Beartaria banker. Okay. This is Grateful Harvest, owned by Adam Stevens, a.k.a. Permy Bear. So you can go to his website, which we're going to see Permy Bear here in a moment. I think I have a clip pulled up here. But if you see the ritual death of celebrity catharsis here that Owen Benjamin went through trying to get a bunch of Asian people to pay him $10,000 to throw 33 tomatoes at him, which is a very, very, very cherished number in the occult and especially in Islam. 33 is a very, very important number. So $10,000 supposedly to buy 33 tomatoes so that you can put Owen Benjamin through his humiliation ritual. Gooble gobble one of us. See guys, I'm not a threat, guys. Guys, I'm one of you guys. Guys, see, I'm not a threat. Pay me. Totally pay me. Just pay me. Yeah. So this is him at the Beartard Festival. The ceremony of the woods. the catharsis. Jerusalem Tomatoes, or Jerusalem Tomato, Beartaria fundraiser. So here's a description. Also known as Dirty Dave's Giant Killer, a once-in-a-lifetime chance. Now, I want you to understand my opinion, the psychosis of the celebrity worship here, okay? Watch this. Listen. This, you got to really listen to the words that are used here. This special release comes from the tomatoes thrown at Owen Benjamin at the Beartaria Times Cult Festival. Okay. These are special. They were thrown at Owen Benjamin. We grew the tomatoes for the tomato throwing event and gathered the seeds from those fruits, including several that hit him. Please understand what I just said. First of all, this guy is a banker, or was a banker, number one. Copper, perfect yarmulke bald spot, too, by the way. Like I said, at the top of this, it's all controlled by money changers. All of this is controlled by money changers and religious zealots, religious fanatics, Muslims. So these tomatoes, number one, were specially grown for the cult festival, specially grown. Then they went in the dirt, in the grass, spilled food, ants, whatever else. They dug around, spit, whatever, sweat. They dug around, maggots. You know, obviously there would have been flies there. They dug around all, and they found seeds out of the tomatoes that may have hit the celebrity. Now it's your chance to grow amazing tomatoes with a fantastic story. Who cares? They do. In support of a great cause. What is the great cause? Childhood cancer, leukemia. What is it? Children's Hospital? What is the great cause? What is the great cause? ASPCA? Cancer research? What's the great cause? Let's see here. 100% of the net proceeds will be donated to the Beartaria Ozark land purchase? So that you can again make Owen Benjamin even richer. But then again, too, Adam, you know, we're going to see how much of that can be disclosed when the LLC show drops, because, you know, well, who's all in on what? Who's all in on the LLCs? On this one, on that one, on this one, on that one, on that one, on this one. Percentage owner on this one, percentage owner on that one. Who gets the rake on this one? Who gets the take on that one? Who gets paid from this one? What subcontractor gets paid from that one? On and on and on and on and around we go. So you can buy specially grown tomato seeds that were scraped off the ground. Some of them may have hit Owen Benjamin. You can grab those seeds, have a great story, and how much are we paying here? Let's see here. This is an extremely limited release, and once they are gone, they're gone. Who cares? Once they're gone, they're gone. Oh my God. Get your Owen Benjamin spit seeds that were pulled out of a maggot's belly so that you can have a great story and make some money changers even richer. My land purchase. Oh, we got the perfect thing going on. Oh, how many people have moved up there? Would you guys believe that there is roughly between 40 and 50 families that have now moved to the Ozarks because of this demonic entity on the screen. Would you believe that? 40 to 50 families. And it's all going to end horribly. Horribly. The delusion will fade very quickly. But I just wanted to show you the psychosis of the celebrity obsession. Who cares? Who cares about Owen Benjamin? I loved Gay Town. Oh my God, that's one of my favorite celebrity. Never heard of anybody on there like movie or show or whatever. Gay Town. Yeah. This is an extremely limited release, and once they're gone, they're gone. You get 9 and 11. Listen, you don't listen. These are very smart people at the top. Everything is gematria. They're all money changers. They're all money changers at the top. Oh, you get between 9 and 11, 9, 11, 33, 9, 11, 33. Let's see here. How much are they? We first grew these heirloom tomatoes at the urging of our neighbor who reported this was his favorite variety when he was able to garden, blah, 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 blah. Okay, they're heirloom. Yeah, so how much? Okay, let's see. Yeah, you get 9.11. How much are they? I know I've seen a price somewhere here, right? Oh, $33. You get 33, or you pay $33 to enrich money changers and a millionaire, and you get 9 or 11 seeds between 9 and 11. You don't get 9. They can't say 9, 10, or 11. You get 9, 11. Okay? 9 or 11. For $33. Because it may have touched Owen Benjamin's spit. You're not going to tell me this is low IQ, beta level fantasy of another man. This is how deep it goes. This is how deep it goes. You know, I never bought into the Hollywood shit. I never bought into it. I know they're all Luciferians. I know they're all wacko drug addicts. I know that. And, you know, what always made me laugh about Owen Benjamin, I left the beast. I left Hollywood. I left Hollywood the beast. I left Zion. I left it all. Yet, here's what's funny. Yet, Owen is only able to do what he does because of Hollywood. Do you understand that? Listen, who cares about Owen Benjamin because of Owen Benjamin? Take away Hollywood, take away every name drop, take away all of it. Take away the rhetoric and everything else. Who is Owen Benjamin? Exactly. Nobody cares. Who cares? He'd probably be on SSI, honestly. He's only able to do what he does because of Hollywood, yet he speaks against the beast just in a completely, you know, like he's some virtuous, like, I don't know. It's just bizarre to me. It's like complete virtue signaling. I speak out about this and that, and I just couldn't. Everybody wanted a celebrity to stand up, and I did, and I paid dearly for it. Really? Is that the story? Yeah, it's the story. That's the story. It's all a ploy because he uses the same demonic magic to wield his control over stupid people. And this is a primary example. This is based on science, and here's the proof. What more do you need? It works on him. And now they're wielding this power in a scheme to take advantage of a lot of good people. It's funny. He pretends to curse Hollywood. I curse them all. I curse them all. Yet he literally owes his entire existence to Hollywood. And, you know, we can go back to the, what'd you say? How's he say it? His self-imposed creation, the most queefed comedian on planet Earth.
Covert Radio. Yeah, actually, it's not the most queefed comedian. It's actually, Owen Benjamin says he's the most banned comedian. So, yeah, it's not the most queefed. It's the most banned comedian.
Okay, do you guys want to do the show? Is that what you want? Here, come on. You come down here, you do it, okay? Okay, I'm sorry. It is the most banned comedian, okay? The most banned comedian ever. That's his self-invented moniker. The most banned comedian. Even though, again, he owns his entire existence to Hollywood. His power he wields over these dumb people who are literally digging tomato seeds out of a... It's so crazy to me. And this dude is a banker? How many righteous bankers do you know, guys? Yeah, put that in the comments section. I'm saying that you personally know. How many do you know? I don't know any. And, you know, he's the most banned comedian, but he continuously tries to say controversial things. I mean, there's just, where is the secret here? Where is like the oh my God, he is banned. Covert Radio. He is banned. My daddy. What's that one dude, the lunatic? Oh man, see, I should have had that clip pulled back up because I thought he was a troll for so long. Good news, guys, comedy's back. If you're sick of being a miserable drunk and you want to get on the comedy lexicon, good news, Noble Savage drops on. My daddy can't quit getting banned. Well, why don't you stop saying vicious, crazy shit? He won't, because this is his whole identity now. Because he doesn't have the money of the controllers in Hollywood making it easy for him. It's all a delusion. It's all a delusion. Because here's the reality, right, Owen? Here's the reality. Remember this conversation with Mommy, remember?
That's what you're running up against now in Hollywood. You got away from them, just like Pinocchio did. And by God, they're going to make sure you're punished.
I know.
And they jumped on you, Owen. I think if you had said, you know, the sky is really green, I don't think it was necessarily the transgender. I think
I know it wasn't.
I don't think it was necessarily the transgender. I know
it wasn't. I'm like, dude, you guys are the ones saying the 3-year-old children can be transgendered. Like, I got fired for that opinion. It's like, but it's not what you said. It's not that opinion. It's like, it's how you present yourself. I go, that's a class issue, man. That's like British imperialists that would politely take over countries. It's like, that doesn't, how you present yourself more reflects like the people you are around all the time. Like, I hang out with like hard laborers. They hang out with like assholes, you know?
But rich ones.
It's so
very
insane.
Rich.
And they just keep blaming the poor for everything.
Right? Come on, it's all a lie. It's all a lie. But yet, you know, because of the cognitive dissonance, the hardcore cult members will fight me tooth and nail. Even though I'm showing them with their own eyes and ears, they will not succumb you know, was it Mark Twain? I forget who said this, that it's easier to fool people than convince them that they've been fooled. And that's what cognitive dissonance is, because it's all a lie. His entire digital existence is a lie. Because in reality, Owen Benjamin is at best a very lowbrow, mediocre comedian. And again, no Hollywood, no nothing, no, the most banned comedian on planet Earth. None of this. You know what he would be doing right now? He would be grinding it out at the Comedy Store on the third stage, or Yucks in, Benton Harbor. Something like, he'd be at he'd be at these off the circuit comedy clubs. He'd be doing bars. He'd be doing his colleges, and he'd be making about $40,000, $50,000 a year. That's what he would be doing at best. Mediocrity. Totally mediocre. I've been binge watching Kill Tony, and I can't believe the comparison of comedians, even people who have been, Tony's like, how long have you been a comedian? Oh, 8 months. I'm over here crying, laughing so hard. Owen Benjamin's been into this how long? 20 years now? I mean, it's over, dude. It's over. It's been over. And even this digital existence is soon to be over. Because in reality, dude, you're a mediocre comedian who lucked out with a couple of very minor roles in a couple mainstream films that had bigger names in them. And you were on television for about, 5 years? I mean, that's who Owen Benjamin is in reality. That's who he is in reality. But we don't play in reality. That's not what the Beartaria cult is. They do not live in reality. What they live in is the belief of Owen Benjamin's alter ego. They believe in his alter ego. And that is a pervasive, persuasive cult leader. It's a straw man that he has created. And the name of this straw man, Owenus Larpington, the famished farm boy bear king. That's his alter ego. That is the king of Beartaria. And he uses textbook cult indoctrination techniques. This has been gone over ad nauseum on Covert Radio. Please watch, if you're interested in this, please watch some of my Owen Benjamin videos. I've showed you guys every aspect of this in black and white. One of the biggest things he uses is the endless us versus them technique. Us versus them, the outside threat, the outside threat. And he uses that to enforce the cult ideology, and he uses high-level manipulation. Histrionic misrepresentations, character attacks, and multiple rhetorical strategies. He's not stupid, and he's learned this from Daddy. Let me ask you something. Do you guys know what your dad does, or do you know what your dad did? I wouldn't mind if some of you guys answer me in the comment section. What did your dad do? Tell me about your dad's job. You don't think Owen knows what his dad did? You don't think because of the egos in that house that John had no choice but to continuously, da 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 da. You don't think none of that rubbed off on Owen? You don't think that he doesn't get information to this day and guidance? And I still truly believe mommy showing up at the Beartaria Cult Festival at like 80-some years old was honestly as a wingman for the catharsis, for the humiliation ritual. Because she's smart too. But she's not a PhD like Daddy is. Right? Dr. John Karras Smith, professor of communication. He got his PhD from Northwestern University. You know how many famous people went to Northwestern? You know how many gay guys went to Northwestern? Look into it. If you don't believe me, look into it. Dr. John Karras Smith is considered an expert on public address, public speaking, addressing the public. He is considered an expert. He's also considered an expert on rhetorical theory. And he's also considered an expert on American social movements. It's almost like, Alex Jones does this too. Oh, my dad, my dad, we used to sit around the kitchen table and my dad used to have CIA. I have CIA all through my family, and I'm not the CIA. No, I'm not involved in that at all. Agent in place. God bless America. So when I was a little boy, I seen VR in the 1970s. My dad used to have CIA agents all the time. CIA approached my dad. They wanted him to use his dentist practice as it's almost the same for Owen Benjamin and Daddy. Maybe Daddy's in the sea. Who knows? American social movements, farm LARPing, self-sustenance. It's like Curtis Stone has talked about. There is a theory, and it makes a lot of sense. I've talked about this. Curtis Stone has talked about this. There's many other people who have talked about this. Who's to say Owen Benjamin was literally not put into this environment to discredit it, to hurt people? Like I said, there's 4,250 families right now that have moved to the Ozarks because of a Luciferian lunatic who understands the power of media and rhetoric, and he uses them like weapons, whose daddy was a doctor who has his doctorate. 40-some years in expert knowledge of addressing the public, rhetorical theory, social movements. What is Beartaria? Why is his face on a screen for up to 3 hours a day? You better wake up. Because out of 40 to 50 of those families that are new in the Ozarks, I would love to just sit on a cloud and watch what happens over the next, 8 to 10 months? Once it all starts sinking in, oh my God, what did we do? You scraped up enough money to buy land from one of 2 or 3 people. For God knows how much the markup is. And now what? You going to plant your tomato plant? You going to plant your little garden like Yo Ames? Is that what you're going to do? Again, keep in mind, Owen doesn't live there. You cannot farm that ground. I've covered this, and I'm going to actually cover this in depth coming up. Also like to give a shout out to Pandora Wake. I've covered this, and I've covered this in depth, and everything I've said has been basically confirmed. The land is garbage there. Owen doesn't live there, and the top brass, they don't make their money or off farming. I mean, Banker Boy might have a little garden of tomatoes, but how many tons of cows? I mean, how much fertilizer? I mean, are they raised beds? Who knows? A lot of people are going to get hurt up there. A lot of people are going to get hurt. And then when they try to sell that land because it's really not worth anything and they can't afford $30,000 to tap into the electric service that might be a mile from their property, or they can't afford a septic system or a cistern, they can't afford to drill a well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do then? It's all falling apart. It's all falling apart. And the other aspect of this, if you're not prone to the celebrity aspect, people who are obsessed with celebrities may be less intelligent. If you're not prone to that idiocracy, the celebrity worship, the bread and circus, you have to understand something. Owen Benjamin, IMO, is a godless Luciferian wizard. And is it luck? Is it planned? Because his timing, timing meaning he just so happened to launch this in the middle of the most traumatic event in modern history. And all the people who are buying into this are really operating still under trauma. So his timing, his understanding of rhetoric, his ability to communicate, and, like I mentioned before, his ability to hone in on a bleeding animal, a true predator like a wolf, pacing around a wounded sheep. All of these skills he has, all of these abilities. Not to mention, Owen has been able to appoint dolts, betas, as yes men. Like Coddington. Like Coddington, a.k.a. Do you know what racketeering is, Coddington? That's what I call him. Some people call him Coddington. I call him a.k.a. Do you know what racketeering is, Coddington? That's my nickname for him. And there's other people. But they've been pretty much, they're the protectors. Their roles are controlling as much as they can, crafting as much as they can, and really policing anyone who are a threat to daddy's image. I get comments, especially on Rumble. I get all of the Beartards coming after Covert Radio. They protect him. And these are all skills he's honed. This isn't luck. So even if you're not that level of a sheep, I want you to take a look at something here. And, the people who understand how to use rhetoric, how to use media, how to our own brains, our own comprehension, our own nervous system. I've said this 1,000 times, and actually this is one of Covert Radio's monikers. Your eyes and ears have no firewall. So you can go back to the Tavistock Institute, and if you could even understand 10% of what they truly know of manifestation, controlling the mind, controlling herd mentality, psychology, media, colors, sounds, symbolism. If you understand that, you have people like Owen Benjamin who use it as a weapon or to serve his own agenda, whatever that is. This is just a small example of how this works. I want you guys to watch this real quick. We'll watch this twice.
I'm going to play a recording of people chanting, "That is embarrassing," 4 times. After the 4th time, write down what you hear.
That is embarrassing. That is embarrassing. That is embarrassing. That is embarrassing.
Interesting. Almost everyone here heard, "That is embarrassing." Listen again and watch the screen.
That is embarrassing. 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 That is embarrassing.
You heard the same thing every single time. Our eyes and ears take in electrical signals which our brains interpret based on our expectations. We don't see reality. We see our reality. I'm going to play a recording of people chanting, "That is embarrassing," 4 times. After the 4th time, write down what you hear.
That is embarrassing. That is embarrassing. That is embarrassing. That is embarrassing.
Interesting. Almost everyone here heard, "That is embarrassing." Listen again and watch the screen.
That is embarrassing. 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 That is embarrassing.
You heard the same thing every single time. Our eyes and ears take in electrical signals which our brains interpret based on our expectations. We don't see reality. We see our reality.
You know, and this is something Covert Radio has talked about a lot. I constantly say that we actually live in our own reality. And, you know, we're not going to get into this at all. I just want to show you, you know, the power of understanding this. You know, and these are things that are on the surface. This is like people saying, the government has so much technology. The normies are 20 years behind at what the government can actually do. I believe that. Because when I lived in LA many years ago, we used to go to the Chino Hill street races, okay? This is 10 years before the Fast and Furious. At least 10 years, I'd say. Maybe 8 years. We'll say 8 years. Before the first Fast and Furious. 8 years prior. And I remember going to the Chino Hill street races, and a buddy of mine had like a 70-something, I don't know, it was a muscle car. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was white. Had black leather interior, and we used to go to this industrial park, and it was like once a week, every Thursday or something, and people would street race literally in the middle of industrial park. They'd drive to this one section that was flat and straight, and people would come down the straightaway, go up on the curb and hang their front end off, back up a little bit, and everybody would just watch these cars race. And I remember standing there watching, and I would hear like sounding like chainsaws. And there are these little Hondas just blowing the doors off of like Corvettes and Vipers and, you know, even muscle cars and stuff. And my mind was blown. I'm just like, how are these little cars like destroying, you know, these big motors like 302s or 350s even. And I never knew about nitrous. I never knew about any of that stuff. And then it was like many, many years later, Fast and Furious come out. And now we're talking like 20 years later, at least. It's like, you know, now kids are still doing that stuff to their cars. I always hear like, eek, eek, eek. And I'm like, I knew about this 20 years ago. You know what I mean? But I always say that about Covert Radio. And I know this is going to sound cocky, but I live in the future. I live in the future. And really, I could prove that. If you could even go back 7 years, 7 years of Covert Radio, and if you would listen to every one of my boring shows, the Sunday shows are all good. But if you would listen to it, you would see a person predict the future. Even though we're only talking 7, 8 years, but still, I've not been, listen, I'm in the right space. You know what I mean? That's all I can say. You're in good hands with Covert Radio. But there's one more thing I want to show you guys. And I played this before on Covert Radio. And people do not believe me. They'd be in the comment section. They'd be like, oh, you're changing it. At like 30 seconds, because I'd let it run for like a minute or two. For like 37 seconds, you reverse it. You're controlling it. I laugh every time. I'm like, this is an illusion. Your brain that is encased in darkness, your brain is deciding which way this ballerina, this dancer is spinning. And there's so much science that we're not going to get into this. But it primarily deals with your left proclivity, your left hemisphere proclivity, or your right proclivity to what you primarily use with your, if your brain. Like if you're a left brain thinker, you're very analytical and stuff, which I could tell you a story right now, but I'm going to mention Made by Jim Bob. When me and Made by Jim Bob got into it a while ago, which I love the guy. And, I'm glad that, we put that to bed because he really is. He's a very good dude. But there's another guy I'm talking to who has a very analytical brain as well. And there's actually 2 or 3 guys that I'm talking to that are part of the Beartaria family or whatever. And I'm talking about that I've realized that are primarily left brain thinkers. And Jim Bob, even though he's so talented and creative, he's also very smart. So there's that too, because I know what's going to happen to Jim Bob if he watches this. He will see this dancer. He'll be maybe, not maybe, he probably could at will change the direction that she spins. And he'll float between the hemispheres of his brain. That's the only way you can make this happen. If you see her spin to the clockwise, that's one hemisphere of your brain you're using. If you see her spinning counterclockwise, that's the opposite, the creative side. You have your analytical side and your creative side. And it's rare for, say somebody like Made by Jim Bob, who's very talented, very creative, plays guitar, writes music, tells jokes, does his cartoons, does his podcast, and is so quick-witted, but, you have that level of creativity, but then you also have how smart he is and analytical. So somebody like him, he might wake up on a Thursday and look at this dancer and feel a certain, I'm going to work on music today. He'll see her spinning one way. And then maybe he's going to go do something that requires writing or whatever. He'll watch this dancer. She's spinning the opposite way. So it really does depend on what hemisphere of your brain you're using. But back to what I was saying about analytical thinkers. It's crazy because they hate one thing about Covert Radio. But there's other people who, I've explained why I do what I do. I type in a very, very distinct pattern. I use punctuation that you're not supposed to in places you're not supposed to. I use quotations, probably way too much. I way overcapitalize stuff. And I do that for several reasons. I do that so I can control your eyes. And I also do that so that I can control the pattern in which you read to give your own brain a break. However, when you're talking to a primary left brain person, it drives them crazy. And I remember Jim Bob like, dude, why do you type like this? Because it really does drive people crazy if you don't understand what I'm doing or if you're not a primary right brain thinker. There's another dude, I wish I could tell you who it is, But he's like, dude, when I read your text, I can hear you say those words because I literally almost type like I speak. Anyway, it's convoluted. Anyway, yes, I want to show you guys the spinning dancer. Let me find her real quick. Okay. Like I said, depending on your own brain, she's either going to be appearing to spin left or she's going to be appearing to spin to the right. And you know what? We'll full screen it for you guys here. Watch this. Like for me right now, she's actually spinning clockwise. About an hour ago, when I was pulling this up, because I have the GIF of this, she was spinning counterclockwise. And I was writing some things. I was working on something. I was checking something else on my phone. So, you know, I can float in between the hemispheres of my brain. Sometimes, most times I should say, I don't control it, though. It just happens. Whoops, sorry about that. So, yeah, let me take it back a few seconds. So is she spinning to the right for you or is she spinning to the left? Tell me in the comments section. I want to know where my right brainers are. I want to know who my left brainers are. Tell me in the comments section. I've noticed too, if you kind of focus on her knee area, if you personally can float between hemispheres, I can, that's kind of where it happens for me, from her hips to her knees. I can get her to spin the opposite way. I'll take it back again for you guys. We'll just watch this another few seconds. You know, sometimes close your eyes for a few seconds and then look. I've also, in the past, I've done, write down 5 math problems, figure them out, and then look to the screen while she's spinning. And at that moment, you should be in a left brain hemisphere and she should spin the opposite direction. So yeah, this is not a trick. This is not, you know, there's a lot of science behind this. There's no field of reference. She's a silhouette. There's no linear lines. There's no nothing like that. I'll take it back one more time. There's nothing to show you scale. There's nothing. Okay, so right now she's spinning. She's spinning counterclockwise. She's spinning counterclockwise for me now. So yeah, and okay, now she's going back. See, that's so weird. I gotta pause this. No, I won't. See, what happened was I was explaining to you guys that the linear aspects of it, there's nothing. So I'm recalling why this works. She started spinning to the left. And then I was going into why I started seeing that, getting a creative way to tell you. And she started spinning the opposite way in real time right now. So I too, I'm very creative, but I'm also very analytical. So, you know, I think that's why me and Jim Bob get along so good. We're kindred souls. So, yeah, so, you know, I just wanted to show you guys this, but the whole reason I'm showing you this is because I want you to understand the people who know how to wield this as a weapon are people like Owen Benjamin and John Kara Smith. And, you know, I could name 10 more people. They can wield stuff like this as a weapon. And I'm gonna actually give you one more while you're watching this. Let me take it back. Here's another weapon for you here. Wow, I'm gonna really play with your mind for a second. Covert Radio is gonna take full control of your brain. You ready? Here, I'm gonna take full control of your brain. I'm gonna make you say something even though you don't want to.
We are farmers.
Did she spin the same direction for you here? While you finish the jingle that you've heard 10,000 times to the third power?
We are farmers.
So in your mind, you have no choice but to what?
Bum, 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 bum.
You have no choice. No choice.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Right? So I'll link this too if you guys want to take a look at that later and just test it for yourself. I'll link this exact video in the description. What I'm trying to explain to you guys in a very basic, rudimentary way is that the people who understand how this works, they can use it as a weapon. And Owen Benjamin is that guy. He is that guy. Mind you, let's play this too. This is how long ago, Owen? How long ago was this? We're not going to play the whole thing. But you rail and rant and rave and rail and rant and rave and rave and rant and rave about Prager and PragerU, right? But just a few years ago, and I mean, come on, Owen, it's not like you were a kid and then all of a sudden you woke up and now you understand. No, sir. This was what, 2018, 2019, 18, somewhere around in there? A few years ago? And you're cutting promos for Prager? Look at this demon. Look at him.
Okay with that? My issue is not with liberals like my brother and my dad and a lot of my friends. We can argue until the cows come home. My issue is with the left because we don't share goals. This war of goals isn't coming. It's here. You need to decide which side you're on, the liberals and conservative side or the left's. Your future depends on it. I'm Owen Benjamin for Prager University. Thank you for watching this video. To help keep PragerU videos free, please consider making...
Oh, so this is 2019. 2019. Owen, you were already the most queefed comedian. I'm sorry, though. You're already the most banded comedian in the world. Guys, I say such controversial things, guys. Number one, nobody landed on the moon. Guys, nobody landed on the moon. I'm telling you right now. Go ahead and say that. Try saying that somewhere on the internet. That's why you pay me, guys. That's why you pay me, because I take very mediocre information and I draw it out to 3 hours and act like it's my own thoughts. Or I'll listen to very smart people who they're one of the 60-some that I've had falling out with, guys, and I'll just repackage and reword their own insights, like Crow and like, which, by the way, speaking of Crow, I have a video coming up about that too. Bernays and there's I don't want to get into it, but we got a video coming up about that. But yeah, PragerU 2019, copyright 2019, a couple years ago. Owen is working for promoting Prager. Right. But this persuasive cult leader straw man, okay? He's working for Prager, promoting Prager. Owenis Larpington, the famished farm boy bear king, right? He has the Beartards believing that PragerU is what? What are they this week, Owen? Are they demonic Jewish group, or who's Prager this week? Is he Satan himself? They hate America, right? But just a couple years ago, you're taking a paycheck from them, and you're promoting. This is Owen Benjamin from Prager. Out of here. I won't take this away from Owen. He's been so effective. So good at, his manipulation and his rhetorical strategies. Mind you, these are grown men. These are grown men primarily in this cult. It's being sold to the women first, which I talked about in my last video, which is tribal warfare. They go after the women and the children first. That's what's happening in America. They've been attacking our kids. They've been flooding the country with third world immigrants to attack the white women primarily in America. That's a fact. Just like pornography. Who's the majority of it? White women. That's why in Syria, when that all broke out and all the refugees were storming Europe, which were about to be stormed again, and I have a video coming up about that, through the Darien Gap, they're all being staged. There's big, huge camps all coming up through Panama, 2, 3, 4 mile long, tens and tens of thousands of immigrants. All of these, Palestinians are going to be coming here now. And listen, if you don't live in a sanctuary city, you have no idea how bad it's about to get for you, because it will come to you eventually. That's what pornography is. That's why all the white women were getting attacked and beaten and raped in Europe by all the Syrians, because they thought, oh, well, I mean, we've seen that white women go through all the, so they just automatically assume white women are a certain way. It's war. This is war. The money changers run the pornography industry too. And they also run Beartaria. These grown men, they make clothes for another grown man. And they sit online talking about, well, yes, I don't know. I like the blue. I like the blue. That was my favorite. I was hoping that Big Bear, I was hoping that he really, really liked that. This one shade of blue. I really liked that. I don't think he liked it. I'm not sure. So I made him a sports coat. It was very nice. And, then I made Ames a very nice dress. It had a flower pattern on it. And, it's just so lovely. I'm going to make the boys all matching. I mean, these are grown men. I wish I had the clip for you. I can get it. Liz can put it in the comment section. I'm not exaggerating. They sit online and talk about the clothes that they make Owen Benjamin. I just came here, I wanted to know what, just like the guys who built Beartaria in Idaho. I just showed up with my backpack, my sewing machine, a tube of chapstick, and my dance belt. And I just wanted these little farmy homesteady things I seen on Pinterest. I want to help Amy in the kitchen. I want to take measurements. This is not an exaggeration. Primarily men are responsible for this. And that's, like I said, he's targeted the women and the children first, but somehow men are the ones sticking around, grown men. They make clothes for him. They go on the internet defending him daily. There's grown men on the internet. They still believe that Owen is a Christian. And Beartaria is a family-oriented Christian group. And again, mentioning Made by Jim Bob, this is after, and they know this, after Made by Jim Bob destroyed Owen Benjamin's illusion and delusion that he's a Christian. But aren't these the Christians? They shall not have no other gods before me. They shall not make unto thee any graven image like bears or logos or Beartarias or, dropping your identity to acquire a cult identity. Thou shalt not bow down thyself nor serve any graven image. Isn't that what you believe in? You LARPing Christians who still believe Owen Benjamin is a Christian. You self-identify as bears with bear names, worshiping a Luciferian grifter. And the holy city of Beartaria. Come on, ding dong, ding dong.
You're laughing at this? Is this
I'm curious as to why. Like, what am I doing that's hurting you?
You're not hurting me. It's just unproductive.
It can be productive. I just want to talk to you about the Bible.
So we could do this. We could do this. we could do this individually and I could have conversation with you. But doing it on a stream like this is really, really childish, man.
Is this a Christian group, or is it not?
I mean, as a whole, the Bears are, but I don't speak for everybody here. Are you a Christian?
I can.
You know, it's just so sad. It really, really, really is sad. I mean, there are so many good people involved with this. And, you know, like I said, word on the cow patty is there are about, I don't know, 40, 50 families that have moved to the Ozarks. 40 to 50 families have fallen prey to Owen Benjamin. And they're about to have their lives fall apart because they have succumbed to some ex-Hollywood elitist Luciferian cult leader who is a toxic and malignant narcissist who's bent on breaking people's will, breaking their mind, robbing them, robbing their finances to further his own greed and thirst for power. That's who he is. You know, speaking of that, I am going to play a video of a woman who basically almost lost it all because she fell victim to this Luciferian wizard and his manipulative strategies that he uses for rhetoric. All of his rhetorical strategies handed down by Daddy. You know, I have talked about this before. Before I play that video, it just dawned on me. I don't even know if you guys, and I say a lot of, like, I have a bad habit of just assuming you know. And this has happened to me my whole life. I have a bad habit of assuming you just understand or you just know, or you understand what I understand, or you know what I know. Okay? Just for Pete's sake, I'm going to clarify something here because I say this a lot. I talk about rhetoric. And a lot of times I just say there are many forms of rhetoric. I know that. And I'm not going to get all into it right now. But there are many, many forms of rhetoric. And when it's used as a weapon by demons like Owen Benjamin, you can see the results. Complete strangers turn you into a millionaire and buy you hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of property. For what? That's the power of rhetoric. That is when you use it as a weapon. You can see the results. But specifically, I will mention just a few techniques that and he uses many. Trust me, he uses many. But these are primarily the techniques he uses. Ethos, pathos, and illusion. Not illusion, I-L-L, illusion, A-L-L. Those are just three of the primary, almost daily. These are mind-melting techniques that he uses. And again, a lot of you guys may know this, maybe you don't. But if you want to know more about it, you can look into it. Overall, though, ethos, very generally, it's basically... Ethos is used to build beliefs, ideals. That's why even though, somebody can sit on the internet, a grown man, defend a complete stranger, demonic elitist who's LARPing as a Christian and got blown out of the water during the Trinity debate, they will still sit there in cognitive dissonance and defend it. And through ethos, a rhetorical or a rhetoric technique, through ethos, it is constantly reinforced when Owen can squeeze it in. Or at least that small aspect. But he uses ethos constantly. Guiding a belief. That's why he's turning them now into Muslims. Because that's probably his new grift. He's going to be a Muslim leader under the watchful eye of Sam, or it's all going to still be controlled by Sam. But Owen is slowly turning all of the devoted Beartards into Muslims. Almost constantly, I'd say once every day or 2 or 3 days. That's why I love Muslims. That's why I love Muslims. Islam, Muslims, Islam. So he's turning them now. He's converting them from Christianity into Islamicist. Okay? He's guiding beliefs, guiding ideals. And those are specifically under the umbrella of community, Beartaria, ideology, basically the passion of being a Beartar, dropping your worldly identity to get a bear name and join the cult and make your way to the promised land, Beartaria in the Ozarks, Zion, Jerusalem, they've called it. So ethos is the beliefs, the ideals that are he lays the foundation of what the Beartaria beliefs are. That's ethos. And, again, because he has a bunch of yes men and dolts like Coddington and all these beta boys are online and just making clothes for daddy, all this reinforces his authority. And that's why people believe what he says. I mean, because there's people that are under his control, under his power. Owen also uses pathos, which is his emotional appeal. This could be part of his acting chops or whatever he learned from the wizards in Hollywood. But, every once in a while, it's the guys, this letter's going to make me cry. It's so beautiful. This is once every, say, couple weeks. He's weeping about something, a letter, or somebody sent him a shekel in the mail. So this is part of pathos. It's an emotional appeal. This is where he attacks the women or in the feminine men, which are 90% of the Beartards. Yeah, so that's pathos. It's the emotional values. It's, it appeals to everybody's core, like, oh, poor guy's crying. Yeah, okay. And it also, he uses the us versus them. That'll also trigger an emotional response too. Who's attacking us now? Who's attacking us now, Owen? So that's pathos. So he uses ethos, he uses pathos, and he uses illusion, A-L-L, not I-L-L. Even though he uses a lot of illusion, allusion is part of rhetoric. So, and this is probably what he uses the most, because this is why he's always mentioning Hollywood. Guys, when I was in Hollywood, guys, Vince Vaughn, guys, Adam Sandler, guys, when I was with Christina Ricci, constantly using allusion, constantly. It's always pointing to what I did in Hollywood. It's always pointing to, I'm on the wall at the Comedy Store. It's always pointing to, when I was in Adam Sandler's movie, it's always pointing to something famous, something the audience will know. And, you can, in Hollywood, that's really all he really has to talk about is Hollywood, because there's proof of that. So allusion is constantly referencing and pointing people to famous works. So those are just 3 out of probably 20 or 30 I could name right now. Those are 3 that he constantly uses. Right, Owen? Right? Yeah, come on. Come on, buddy. Tell the folks. Tell them what a weapon you can wield using rhetoric. What all did Daddy teach you, Owen, huh? Because here's your own words, Big Pear, P-E-A-R. Here's your own words, buddy.
I'm like, would you like me to put mind memes in your audience's mind forever? Is that what you want out of me? Then just back the fuck down. A hierarchy exists. You've witnessed me for years and years and years do this. Once the hierarchy has been breached and lines have been crossed, I have to mock you and take you down publicly. Micro Weens, oh my God. I'm so good at this. Like, okay, I talked about this earlier. Vox is probably one of the smartest people I've ever met and the most knowledgeable about the sexual hierarchy of anyone I've ever met. And for fun, does war games all day long. Okay? He said publicly that I'm one of the only people who would never want to debate or publicly fight with because my rhetoric skills are so ridiculously good. Like, even if Vox was right, he said publicly that I'm one of the only people who would never want to debate or publicly fight with because my rhetoric skills are so ridiculously good. Like, even if Vox was right, which he probably would be in certain debates we had, because Vox is extremely intelligent. So, like, let's say I was debating him on something that he was right. I'd still probably hold the crowd because I'm so fucking good at rhetoric. And he knows that. And he strategizes around that. He's like, okay, well, Owen's fucking great at rhetoric. I don't want to fuck with that. It's like, I wouldn't even want to fight Vox. I'm like bigger than Vox, but Vox is like really good at striking. He's incredibly athletic. Like, actual men think like this. Feminized, soy-eating, pot-smoking Canadians, they don't think like that. They're like, oh, I don't feel right. I feel bad. You called me a name. Okay, well, you're going to get smoked.
See, you know, right there, he's basically just admitting his detachment from empathy. And that's just pure personality disorder. That's pure narcissism right there. He has no empathy. That's why he can do this. I can't listen to this demon, man. I can't. And, you know, just like this clip I'm going to play you guys, you know, he's a predator, guys. He's a demon. And there are people's lives that he is ruining. There, like I said, there's people in the Ozarks right now that are getting divorced. Right now. There are bears falling out in the Ozarks. They don't get along anymore. There's businesses falling apart in the Ozarks. And all the new blood that's moving there, you watch. You watch what happens. You watch. And it's all to make this demon, Sam, Adam, maybe Duncan, maybe and this one and that one. Who else, huh? I can go on, yeah? Come on. It's all to make them rich. Money, paper, money changers. Ooh, copper. Ooh, a shekel. Non-empathetic, demonic wizards. He's a predator. I want to play this for you right here. And I'm going to link this video because it's about an hour long if you want to watch the whole thing. This is eScorpio. I'll link their channel. And this woman's going to give you a testimony after she's gone clear.
Take, for example, the case of Persephone. The bear cult almost destroyed her marriage and her life. Pay attention for other red flags in her testimonial.
I first discovered Owen Benjamin back in his Louder with Crowder days. He'd randomly show up with a funny song, and I hadn't seen anyone like him before. I eventually found his YouTube page and quietly followed him there for a while. Part of what I liked about Owen was that he seemed to have the same values and beliefs I did. He was a family man, and he liked the idea of the wife's role of taking care of the home and family, leaving the career to the husband to provide the financial security. Being home all day made it hard to meet new friends and was socially isolating, but I didn't care. Owen's live streams, Twitter, Facebook, and other places where I could interact with the bears gave me all the social life I needed. Once Owen was banned off Twitter the first time, the community started to come together more than ever. Personally, I hated to see him censored, and it made me double down on my devotion to Owen and the bear community. It was around this time that the name Unbearables became a thing. For myself, it was more about interacting with the community and wanting to know more about them outside of when Owen was streaming. It was at this time I started quietly paying more attention to the people I'd followed on Twitter. Enter the danger zone. I watched them one morning and they were making fun of Owen's opener, Eric Nimmer. I'd never found Nimmer funny, and it had only taken watching one of his live streams to be completely turned off by him and anything he had to say. I didn't say much that day other than just saying hello to the DZ. I later went to Twitter to catch up on bear news and realized I'd been blacklisted by the OG bear clique. Coddington, DeLev, and a handful of other people I'd never even talked to on Twitter all blocked me at once. Shortly after, I realized I was also muted in Owen's livestream chat. I was devastated, but around this time, there was another bear that had created his own chat room so people that like to chat in the live stream could have a quieter place to do it. It was funny. Back in these days, I only half joked about it being a cult. Some people saying it couldn't be a cult because the cult leader wasn't sleeping with their wives. Funny thing is, most of them didn't have wives. It wasn't a cult in the traditional sense, since everything happened online, but even then the signs were there. Owen would start using a word or phrase, and everyone in the chat would start using it. Owen would praise a public figure. The bears would love him too and buy his books and talk about him nonstop. Owen would start ostracizing a public figure, or even just spiral and kick someone out of his live stream chat, and the bears would do the same. If you would have had an opinion that differed to what Owen or the bears believe, you'd be pushed away and called names. If not a cult, they were using leftist tactics at the very least. There was one person on this chat who would shower and praise and love bomb any and all females in the chat that I developed a close relationship with. Because of my loneliness in real life, I let myself believe that I'd developed true feelings for this guy. He was single, cared for his ailing parent, and a devout Catholic. I made the mistake of getting to know him outside the chat and almost let it ruin my life. All of his love bombing made me feel so special. It made me feel alive in a way I hadn't felt in a long time, since I was alone at home the majority of days. He quickly told me he loved me, but I was a married woman. He would have to confess these feelings to his priest, and he was sure he'd be told we couldn't be friends. It was at this time a plan was starting to be hatched. He wanted to be with me, but as a Catholic, he could never be with a woman who had been married or wasn't Catholic. So he gave me the specific things I would need to say to have a priest agree that my marriage could be annulled. I met with the priest, script in hand, and told him what I needed. Based on the information I gave him that was given to me, he agreed that the marriage could be annulled. At this point, we were having serious talks of being together, when we'd never even met and he lived across the country. He'd already sucked me in, so there was a lot I didn't question that I should have. In the end, it turned out he struggled to do even the easiest things like light exercise, was scared to leave the house he lived in that belongs to his parent, was a hoarder, and had completely filled every room of the house to the point where he lived on his couch and coffee table. He'd stopped visiting his ill parent and didn't even go to church, even though he was happy to preach to anyone that would listen about why they should go. Even after knowing this, the plan continued. By this time, the emotional affair had been discovered, but I thought it was too late to turn back and say I had made a huge mistake, so it continued. There was a plan to separate, rush through the divorce, and make my way thousands of miles in his direction with just what I could fit in my car. Being a good Catholic, he wouldn't be able to handle living with me in sin, so we would need to immediately get married. We would get married, and then I would clean up his house to make room for myself to even have a place to sleep or put my things. All that I had to do was leave my comfortable life, and he would make everything so much better. My husband finally agreed that if I wanted to leave, he would help me move back home. He had one condition, though, that I attend therapy both alone and with him to confirm that this is what was best for me. He loved me and wanted me to be happy whether it was with him or apart. It was only after many hours of meeting with the therapist that I finally came to the sad realization nothing was real. None of the feelings, nothing. My loneliness and depression had brought back my own problems with impulse control. I'd had a mental break. I was finally awake and seeing that I was about to leave a husband that did everything he could for my health, my happiness, and my financial security. For what? An unemployed, mentally ill manipulator for a better life? Coming to this realization marked the end of my time with the bears. This bear was still very active and very mad once I ended things. And all he had was the bears in his life. It was for the best, though. It's what finally broke me away from the cult.
What immediately stuck out.
I mean, just, you're a predator. Look at this demon's eyes. Dark circles. Blown out. You're a predator. You're a predator. And you're targeting weak-minded, helpless individuals. And everything that woman said is true. Everything she said is true. This is a cult. What more proof do you need? And all of the people, like I said, consider the timing. And him calculating his predatory behavior to people who are in suspended state of trauma. And he preaches every day, 2 to 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours. And when he's not preaching, he's blown out on Twitter all the way up until 3, 4 in the morning. That is reality. That is reality. And it's so unbelievable. Like, that anybody would believe he's a homesteader, he's a farmer, he's got this, he's a father of 4, he's this, he's that. He's a lunatic. He's a lunatic. Because if you were all those things, you would never have time. You would never have time. To do all of that and be on the internet for 8 to 10 hours a day, using psychology, mind control, rhetoric, many forms of your satanic Luciferian wizardry. And again, this is the same level of wizardry that Daddy, Dr. John Karras Smith, perfected over 40 years with his PhD. And again, she mentioning the cult, the identity. Daddy likes it, we like it. Daddy laughs, we laugh. Daddy tells a joke, we laugh. Daddy likes an author, we buy the books. Daddy doesn't like somebody, we hate them all. And it all starts with demanding people lose their self-identity. Again, I'm not going to talk about, I've covered this ad nauseum. The cult aspects of this, reaffirming the identity, demanding they associate it with a trade or what they can do for the betterment of the group. Banker bear, this bear, that bear, glory hole bear. While serfs build Daddy a castle, right? Right, Adam? Right, Permy Bear? I want you guys to watch this, if you can stomach it. Let me see. I don't even know if I have this queued up in the right spot. Let's see here. What?
So we do a lot here because our goal is not to just, provide food for ourselves. We're trying to feed our community as well.
Oh.
So here on the farm, we're pleased to be involved in the piloting of the Builder Buddy program.
Like my Builder Buddy Farm Friend program would be families living on my land, doing work, farming, and they get to eat what I eat and live roughly how I live. And 13 weeks a year, they work on the castle.
We've had 3 Builder Buddies so far, most notably the...
Let me please take this back for you. Do you understand what he just said? And this is Permy Bear. This is Banker Boy. Who's playing along in Daddy's fantasy.
To just, provide food for ourselves. We're trying to feed our community as well. So here on the farm, we're pleased to be involved in the piloting of the Builder Buddy program.
Like my Builder Buddy Farm Friend program would be families living on my land, doing work, farming, and they get to eat what I eat and live roughly how I live. And 13 weeks a year, they work on the castle.
So he actually has people doing this on land that he lives 1,000 miles away from. That other people have bought him, that he charges to walk onto said property. I've said this before, no matter how much money you give this Luciferian, no matter how much money you give him, he's always going to demand you give him more. Even if you give him $10,000, I've covered all this. For $10,000, that still won't cover your parking. That won't cover your $15 plate of biscuits, gravy, and a bottle of water that gave people food poisoning from all accounts. $15 for gravy, biscuits, and water. You can give him 10 grand and you're still going to give him more money. He is a relentless, malignant, narcissistic predator. And do you think he's kidding about these betas building him a castle? Do you think he's kidding? If he's kidding, there are people actually doing this.
To just, provide food for ourselves. We're trying to feed our community as well. So here on the farm, we're pleased to be involved in the piloting of the Builder Buddy program.
Like my Builder Buddy Farm Friend program would be families living on my land, doing work, farming, and they get to eat what I eat and live roughly how I live. And 13 weeks a year, they work on the castle.
We've had 3 Builder Buddies so far. Most notably, the longest is Red Panda Bear, Brian.
My slave name is Hey Boy. Mr. Permy Bear gave me that name because Mr. Permy Bear gives slave names to all of his Builder Buddies.
So he exchanges his labor, in our case, for food and experience and a place to park his RV.
So Builder Buddies are it's a modern take on serfdom where you have an arrangement with an individual. In this case, I'm arranging for a place to park and sustenance. And
that's not serfdom, you idiot. That is not serfdom. A modern take on serfdom? It is called slavery, is what you're doing, sir. It is called slavery because you don't own anything. The serfs at least got to live on the land that they were responsible for. You're on a piece of land that you have nothing to do with. That you're allowed to park your RV on. And I got 4 moo cows that we give raw milk to. And hey, you want to buy 11 seeds for $33 from the celebrity biggest in the world who was really only in some low budget, maybe couple movies on TV too for about 4 or 5 years. So we have a whole new thing going. He had, and I give him some tomato plants. And hey, have you guys seen my new yarmulke? Because look at my bald spot. It's in the. So when I don't have my hat on, I have a bald spot down there. So Owen Benjamin is the funniest guy on planet Earth. Go ahead.
Exchange for my labor, and I'm also apprenticing from a permaculture expert who is providing
a permaculture expert who's been growing tomatoes for about 8 to 10 months, who was a banker until he farm larped at daddy's command. And then who cut him in on the, we're going to be real estate developers. Ooh, watch this. Watch us control all the goyim. Watch what we do to the goyim. Watch what we do to the goyim. The Gentiles. We talk about God. We have no God. We have nothing. There's blackness when we die. And we just come right back.
with knowledge, so it's a win-win for both parties.
His daily duties vary. Usually it's things I don't want to do.
And we don't have any, no energy is lost to friction in the form of taxes because there's not any money being exchanged.
So, the Builder Buddy arrangement.
So that sounds like, you guys remember when I was comparing clips of Jonestown and people in Idaho building the fairy tale death cabins, the cordwood death cabins for that are on the stage, so they can hurry up, shoot a documentary to get all the women out. I want to live like that. I want to live like that. And you have all the men. I want to learn how to work a hammer. Gee whiz, I got my sewing machine, my dance belt. I never touched a hammer in my life. You have this guy who sounds like a robot. I get to learn cultivating from a permaculture expert who's been planting tomatoes for about 6 months. And then we have no friction of taxation. Like, what is going on here? This is so just cringely bizarre.
And we don't have any, no energy is lost to friction in the form of taxes because there's not any money being exchanged.
So, the builder buddy arrangements vary.
And I almost said homeboy, but Permy boy here, he can't quit smiling and smirking. I have slaves. In the Talmud, it said that we will have the goyim as slaves. They will forever work for us. So I'm living the dream, Rabbi. I'm living the dream.
Longest is Red Panda Bear, Brian.
My slave name is Hey Boy. Mr. Permy Bear gave me that name because Mr. Permy Bear gives slave names to all of his builder buddies.
So he exchanges his labor, in our case, for food and experience.
Is that a dumpster back there? Yeah, that is a dumpster. What is going on?
And a place to park his RV.
So builder buddies are it's a modern take on serfdom where you have an arrangement with an individual. In this case, I'm arranging for a place to park and sustenance in exchange for my labor. And I'm also apprenticing from a permaculture expert who is providing me with knowledge. So it's a win-win for both parties.
His daily duties vary. Usually it's things I don't want to do.
And we don't have any, no energy is lost to friction in the form of taxes because there's not any money being exchanged.
Lunatic.
So, the builder buddy arrangements vary depending on the host, or as we like to call it, the master, and the builder buddy, also known as the slave. So some people require...
Jesus, help me. Like, what is... am I dead? Like, I used to play with a theory that this is actually the dead world. Because this is, I'm literally in suspended disbelief right now. I'm in disbelief that there are human beings that breathe the same air as I do that are operating like this. These people walk among us. Do you understand that? And they are hurting people among us. Do you understand that? They are robbing your neighbor. They are taking advantage of your daughter. They are taking advantage of your son, of your grandchild. Do you understand what I'm saying? You guys can't sit back here. You have to get involved to stop this. Become a member of the Covert Radio Tribunal. The link is in the description. Become a Covert Radio Tribunal member. Join this fight. This has to stop. What is going on here? What is going on? And now 40 to 50 new families have moved to a literal desert with a little bit of grass on top, who have bought into a delusion. That was crafted by demonic money-changing wizards through media and rhetoric. Do you understand that?
There are strict schedules. They want to know exactly what they're doing and how many hours. And that didn't really work well for us because I am not that kind of person, and I never know what any day is going to hold. So our current arrangement is just, very loose. Just help me with whatever it is that needs to be done, whether that's wrangling sheep and goats for, 5 hours, or weeding the garden, or, maybe picking up milking because I get stuck at a job site. It just, whatever needs to be done.
Not anymore.
And that works really well for us. We work really well together. I want to feed her through the electric fence. That wouldn't be very fun for her, would it? I've taken to calling myself Mommy Daddy.
I bet.
Because she got rejected, like, straight up. Never even got a nursing session on her mom.
Does she have one?
Because you don't know what the fuck you're doing, maybe? Maybe? Could that be why you have no clue what you're doing? You're even hurting innocent animals. I was a banker for 25 years, and then a celebrity wrangled me into this to be a part of his dream. And he quickly figured out that all you have to do is attach a couple shekels to it, and I'm all in. I'm all in. He even said he'll get me a couple goyim slaves. Ooh.
Right there. That's cute.
So towards the end of last year, some bears from Idaho who work with the Beartaria Times, they approached me to inquire about doing a national festival. And they chose...
I can't watch any more of this. So, yeah, let's see here. You know, I'm in suspended disbelief. I don't even know who this is. I don't care. You know, I swear I don't belong here. I don't belong here. I don't. You know, I know a lot about history, and this demon on the screen right here can talk about, oh, I'm a history mate. Okay, whatever, dude. But I'll tell you something. And I don't care, pick just about any leader, okay? And I'm not talking about a Hitler there, sir. I'm not talking about a Hitler. All of the revered leaders through all of human history, they have always been a servant to the people. We can even go back to Rome. They've always been a servant to the people. They've been willing to help the people. However, tyrants, cult leader lunatics use, abuse, fleece, and disillusion the people. You're no leader. You're no leader. You're a lunatic. And the castle you need is a cell. It'll still be built of block. All the while you portray that you're some divine being, that you're all-knowing, you're 147 IQ, that you're worthy of worship and blind allegiance, and you've gotten it through rhetoric, psychology, manipulation, lies, and straw man techniques. Because in reality, sir, in reality that I show the people, even when you're given the chance to help somebody, your greed, you can't hide it. You can't hide it with your words and your rhetoric and your delusion and your illusions. I want you guys to take a look at something here. Help me stay in my home. We're going to go over two more things about this leader, okay? We're going to go over two more things. Help me stay in my home. I just need some help, please. I want a job first and foremost. I want to work. I was told by my extended family in the unbearables to set this up because of how desperate my situation is. I'm a month and a half behind on my rent, and I will be evicted on Tuesday the 30th. If I can come up with the rent, if I can't come up with the rent, I'm a former U.S. Marine that just wants to earn my way in the civilian world. I was working for a company doing recruiting, basically headhunting talent. Well, it just sounds familiar. You should work for this demonic entity. Basically headhunting talent to put into jobs. Well, they said they would pay me as the jobs closed, and that they never came through. Now I'm in desperate need of help. Boy, who does that sound like? Like going ripping off Adam, what's his name? Ancho Camacho. Yeah, right? Huh? Who? What? I don't want a handout. I want to earn my way. Just don't want to sleep in my Jeep. I'm not laughing. That's just funny. I don't want to sleep in my Jeep. That should be in a song. No, never mind. I don't want to sleep in my Jeep with the two in the picture above. I want to work and will pay back every dime. Thank you for your time. Have a great day. This was 2018. Okay. Beartaria was running strong. This is Owen at his height. This is when, 2018, 19, he'll never reach that pinnacle again. Money was flowing in. Donations were flowing in. He was at the top of his rhetoric manipulation game. Okay? And mind you, the property at Saranac Lake, $500,000 lake house. Hey guys, I have 6 rental properties, guys. Airbnb. I have this, I have that, I have this, I have that, I have that, I have this, I have this, I have that. You have all this shit. You're a millionaire on paper. So let's see how the big bear and the unbearables and the family. Well, how did he help you, sir? Let's see here. Well, I'm sure he probably did, right off the top. What, $2,000, $5,000? That's nothing. $2,000, nothing. Nothing. That's a birthday. That's one birthday. Let's see here. Let's see top donations. Let's see. Let's see if this will load. Yeah, there's Owen. $235. Owen was making that in an hour through the manipulation and the grift in 2018. He was making $235 literally by the end of one live stream. And that's the best he could do to help somebody who's about to be homeless with 2 dogs. And the next person up to that, you've never heard of their name before, was able, and I'm sure they're a hardworking person, has a 9-to-5. Owen's gone on about that when he's begging for people to join Unbearables with your shitty job. And it's enough to just, when you buy coffee, go into your crap. The guy's never worked a job in his life. So, and here we go. He's had money handed to him left and right. He could only come off of $235, and the person came up with just about as much, a normie. That's how much he cares. He don't give about you, your family. I've said this 1,000 times. Here's the proof. Here's the proof of that. Let's see who else. Let's see what else. Let's see here. Oh, let's see. Are you gonna cry from
right now? He's really
Bear?
Spiraling. Dude, back in the day, people could go a couple days without eating, and it wasn't that fucking big of a deal. All right, here we go. Hello, Owen. I'd like to say thank you for everything you've done over the years. I will give you my personal anecdote. I first came across your videos when I was 16. It was the Anthony Bourdain suicide video. Yeah, I said it was bullshit that he committed suicide. I refused to honor someone who committed suicide. And I was emotional about it, but I wouldn't cuck to it. And it got a lot of hate on YouTube, but I wouldn't back down. I'm like, if you commit suicide, like you're a piece of shit. And I won't mourn you or pretend you were a good guy. A 16-year-old son, Smokey the Bernstein. How dare you, Big Bear? I was with you to one after my favorite country singer from 2 weeks ago. Exactly, dude. It's not valid. Since then, I've watched every stream. It's hard for me to convey the gratitude I have. So writing this, I do have a degree of analysis paralysis. I've always wanted to do good. And like most men, you have a hero complex. I feel, though, that the fire in young men to do great things is hijacked now. Example, you wanted to give a woman you love the best possible experience on this earth, and your desire to be romantic and create a family is hijacked by free sex and pornography. I say this because you helped me clear away the fog, thorns, and traps as I set out on my quest to become a great man. The journey that knows no limits. Oh, I love that. The journey that knows no limits. Things are going so well for me now. The reason I tell you this is because you have been like a father figure I needed to facilitate this. I hope you can see that an organic due to my age and not how gammas do it before they spiral. Yeah, and I've seen your videos. You're clearly not a gamma. Like, you have more like alpha male tendencies, so I'm not too worried about that. I think what you mean is I'm a positive male role model. I have a dad. He's a good guy with a good heart, but perhaps he's a fish in water. And if you pointed out the water, the fish would have no idea because it's all he's ever known. The analogy I'm making is with the lies and propaganda. I won't expose sins, but it's not bad stuff.
Are you my daddy?
Video games and spiraling, which is fine. They know not what they do.
Oh my God. I have to fast forward this. You know, again, shout out to Liz Antoinette. Just some background. This is Lord Bear, a.k.a. Ibrahim X. Mind you, Owen, Muslim, converting, Sam, full-blown, was Sephardic Jew, now is a Muslim. Okay, so and Owen's steadily trying to convert people to Islam. This is this guy. And just some background, you may know, you may not know. This is her videos, Liz Antoinette's. And this guy says he sunk thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars into an app. And this is her describing it. He's also renting it from Disciple Media, which, if you guys don't know, that's the same company that Owen rents the Beartaria app from. So, you know, they're all renting these. Basically, what it seems is Ibrahim X tried to do an Owen Benjamin mind melt community, you know, grift, but it backfired. It completely backfired. And it didn't work out for him. And he tried every avenue. He, you know, buying followers. Liz Antoinette said that he, on Instagram, I think it was, he has 75,000 followers, but only 10 comments. I've pointed out so many people over the years that are buying likes, buying comments. You know, there's no end to what you can buy for your to market yourself. You know what I mean? To create hype. But yeah, so his name's Lord Bear Ibrahim X, but you know, he's all about being a Muslim, and it was supposedly this like Facebook but for Muslims or whatever, and this and that. So, you know, he wrote into Daddy to tell Daddy how much he wishes he was his daddy instead of his real daddy. And, you know, just pulls out different quips from authors and writers and whatever. And hopefully he can make Daddy cry here. I'm going to actually put it in high gear because I cannot stomach this, but I do want to show you one last thing after this. Go ahead.
Around 4 to 5 months ago, I reverted to Islam. What I would say to people is it does not matter, Quran or the Bible. You don't realize the similarities you both have. I would encourage people to not point fingers at other people and focus on your own high standards. That's so true. Very well said. Focus on your own high. I point. Yeah. Oh, big bear. You point fingers. I'm a professional finger pointer. It's literally my.
You're a professional finger. What? Oh, one in the stink.
Job. From my observations, a lot of religious dogma comes.
Hold on a minute here. Wait, what? I gotta slow this down. What? You're fingering what? Come on.
From my observations, a lot of religious dogma comes from men who want status and earthly pleasure but can't compete with top-tier men, so they hide behind a church or mosque for uncriticizable status. Made by Jim Bob.
Owen, that what he just said describes you to a T. It describes you to a T. Do I gotta slow it down? Is there a mirror on that page? Is there a mirror on that page? What? And don't talk about fingering stuff. What are you saying? You're a professional fingering what?
Status and earthly pleasure, but can't. A lot of religious dogma comes from men who want status and earthly pleasure, but can't compete with top-tier men. So they hide behind a church or mosque for uncriticizable status. Made by Jim Bob. So they hide behind a church or mosque for
As Owen hid behind Christianity, now he's hiding behind Islam.
Criticizable status. Made by Jim Bob. Criticizable status. Made by Jim Bob. The Quran and Bible, I've noticed, are not books you read.
That
so
really is that
linearly.
I can't listen to this. I can't. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. If you want to listen to that, I will link. But I do want to show you this. This is now Lord Bear. Again, this is somebody who, guys, listen, listen, I love this letter, so touching. Guys, it's so true, guys. Oh, I love that. How did you say that? Let me write that down in my personal quippy book. Oh, you're so smart. Guys, these are the type of people that listen to Owen Benjamin, guys. Guys. He wants me to be his daddy, guys. Oh, okay. So, let's see here. Let's get an update on Lord Bear here. This is a few months later. Let's see. Are you helping him out, Owen?
Evening. So I wanted to make a video. I'm going to have to spill the beans on something, right? So I'm actually, for the foreseeable future, and I don't know how long this is going to be, looks like minimum a couple months or something, like a month or two. I'm sleeping in my car. So I've got my duvet and it's nighttime and I'm parked up in a mysterious area no one knows. But I wanted to talk, because I feel great, and I wanted to talk about what freedom actually is. And I use so right now, I can walk when I want, I can do what I want, I have no one telling me what to do.
Not a lunatic.
It's all swell and well. You could be in a nice, luxurious, whether it's in a cell, or it's in a car, or it's in a 5-star hotel, or it's on a ranch with your wife. Your dean's your dean, and the external world won't change that if you don't let it. And I want to talk about what freedom actually is. So what the shaitan and the jinn will do, the bad jinn, is they will tell you things are freedoms when they're actually enslavements. So the study on the mice, where they injected rats with a chemical which took away their dopamine and their ability to create dopamine, the rats would eat food.
Yeah, like social media, like that type of dopamine, like being addicted to Twitter, like being addicted to logging. And this is all stuff I've covered ad nauseum. I've dedicated whole shows to the actual psychology behind the creation of social media. One of the founders of Facebook is now on a crusade, and he goes around and gives talks and TEDx talks and warns in schools and universities about the dangers of social media and how it's literally all basically like a slot machine. The sound, like, did you ever walk into a casino and just stop and listen? There's a frequency in that casino. And if I had to guess, I'd guess it's around maybe 88 hertz. It's a low, kind of mid-low hum. And it's like, it's just this odd, very kind of welcoming, but also like, what else is in this frequency? And the way the games are designed, and they know the psychology behind when somebody's about to walk away, what it means when they put a 10 in, a 5 in, 100 in, a 50 in, a 20 in. If they're pulling the handle, how fast they hit the buttons. Are they a stop play player? Or they just let it go random player? Like, the psychology in the casinos and the slot machines is very similar to the psychology of social media. as far as like the delay, like when you first log into Facebook or you first log into Twitter, they played around for God knows how long to figure out the precisely perfect millisecond delay. Like even YouTube, before that red thing lights up and or you have likes or you have messages or you have this, you have mail. It's all psychology. It's all deeply rooted psychology. And now he goes around, a founder of Facebook, billionaire, and warning people, oh my God, we did this to you. Yeah, and it really is the dopamine reward. It really, truly is based a lot of it around dopamine. That's why shadow banning works so well, if you care about that.
But if they were moved like 5 centimeters away from the food, they wouldn't even move like 5 centimeters to eat the food. They would just sit and die because they've had nothing. So when they go to women, oh, just murder your kids and sleep around and freedom, oh, just dress like a bimbo, freedom, and guys, oh, just dress.
Did daddy tell you? Did daddy talk about this? See, you tried to map daddy's success, but I don't know if it worked for you. Now you're homeless living in a car. Convoluted, whatever the hell you're talking about, I don't know, but is Daddy Big Bear going to help you? Halaha hakpa?
Just a bit of Xena here. Oh, take a load on that car. What they're doing is they're making you that rat that won't move 5 centimeters for food, because then you're a slave. The freedoms they give you are
while daddy promotes slavery, while daddy promotes, go to the promised land, Lord Bear, go to the promised land, go to Beartaria, Jerusalem. I can't play this. I'm done. Listen, guys, join Covert Radio Tribunal. It's up to you. I mean, you think this is a joke. I don't know what else I can show you guys. I don't know. When it comes to the manipulation, the rhetoric, the psychology, the wickedness of Owen Benjamin, I'm Covert Radio. Make sure you subscribe to Rumble, because more than likely, I'm thinking that's where the LLC show is going to drop. Become a patron, support this type of media. And there's so much more to come. This is brutally honest, fearlessly unapologetic talk radio. You guys take care. Have a great day. Woo! Here we go, guys.